What happens when reality can never match your dreams? Can longing become a prison? And if you spend your life chasing passion, what do you lose along the way? Meet Emma Bovary. She is young, beautiful, and raised on romantic fantasies. Stories of grand love, endless passion, and beautiful lives. She believes happiness should feel extraordinary. Then, she marries Charles Bovary. He is kind, loyal, decent, and painfully ordinary. Their quiet life in the French countryside should be enough, but for Emma, enough feels unbearable. The house feels too small, the conversations too dull, the marriage too quiet. Her dreams are larger than the life she has chosen. So Emma begins to chase something else. Excitement, luxury, desire. What starts as dissatisfaction becomes hunger. She falls into passionate affairs, reckless spending, and dangerous illusions, believing each new romance, each new dress, each new thrill will finally give her the life she imagined. But illusion has a cost. The more Emma reaches for fantasy, the further reality slips away. Debts grow, lies multiply, love turns into disappointment, passion fades into emptiness. And soon she realizes something terrifying. She is not trapped by her town. She is trapped by her own desires. Can anyone survive living in constant dissatisfaction? Can fantasy ever coexist with truth? And what happens when the life you wanted was never possible to begin with? Madame Bovary is not just about adultery or scandal. It is about the danger of romantic illusion. A cinematic tragedy of candlelit ballrooms, quiet provincial rooms, secret letters, whispered affairs, and one woman slowly drowning in the distance between what life is and what she believed it should be. And when Emma reaches the edge of her dreams, one final question remains. Was Emma destroyed by society or by the fantasies she could never stop believing? What happens when a woman begins to want more than the life she was given? Can freedom exist inside a world built to deny it? And what do you risk when you choose yourself? Meet Edna Pontellier. She is a wife, a mother, a respectable woman living the life society expects of her in New Orleans. From the outside, her life looks complete: comfortable home, social status, family. But inside, Edna feels something she cannot yet name. Emptiness, a quiet dissatisfaction, a sense that somewhere beneath duty and routine, another version of herself has been waiting to be seen. Then, one summer by the sea, something awakens. A feeling, a hunger, a possibility. This is the world of the awakening. Through new friendships, unexpected desire, and moments of emotional clarity, Edna begins to question everything. Her marriage, her role as a mother, even the rules that define what a woman is allowed to want. For the first time, she chooses herself. She paints. She moves into her own home. She dares to imagine a life built not on obligation, but on freedom. But freedom has consequences. The more Edna reaches toward independence, the more isolated she becomes. Society has no language for a woman like her, a woman who wants more than duty, more than survival, more than being needed. And Edna begins to realize awakening is not the same as belonging. Can a person truly reinvent themselves? Can personal freedom survive social judgment? And what happens when the life you discover for yourself has no place in the world around you? The awakening is not simply about rebellion. It is about identity. a cinematic meditation of ocean waves, quiet rooms, long silences, and one woman listening for the first time to her own inner voice. And when Edna reaches the final edge of her awakening, one question remains. Is freedom something we achieve, or something we are willing to lose everything for? What happens when you journey into darkness and discover it inside yourself? Can civilization hide humanity's true nature? And when all rules disappear, who do you become? Meet Charles Marlowe. He is a sailor, an observer, a man who believes the world can be understood if you simply travel far enough. When he accepts a job captaining a steamboat deep into the Congo River, he expects adventure, perhaps even glory. Instead, he enters a nightmare. This is the world of Heart of Darkness. The deeper Marlowe travels into colonial Africa, the less recognizable the world becomes. The jungle closes around him, ancient, silent, watching. European civilization begins to look less civilized. Greed, cruelty, exploitation, hidden beneath polished words and imperial pride. And everyone speaks one name: Kurtz. A legendary ivory trader, brilliant, charismatic, a man described as extraordinary, but also a man who has gone too far. As Marlowe moves closer to Kurtz, the journey becomes less geographical and more psychological. The river is no longer just a river. It is a descent into the human soul. What has Kurtz become out here, far from law, society, and consequence? And what might Marlowe become if he keeps going? When he finally finds Kurtz, the truth is horrifying. Stripped of society's masks, Kurtz has become pure appetite, power without morality, ambition without restraint. And Marlowe sees something even more terrifying. Kurtz is not an exception. He is a possibility. Heart of Darkness is not an adventure story. It is a confrontation with greed, empire, madness, and the darkness human beings carry within themselves. A cinematic descent through fog-covered rivers, dense jungle shadows, distant drums, and the unbearable silence of moral collapse. And when Marlowe returns home, one question follows him. Did he escape the darkness, or simply bring it back with him? What happens when love becomes your entire world? Can longing become more powerful than reason? And if your heart cannot let go, how do you survive it? Meet Werther. He is young, intelligent, deeply emotional, a man who feels everything too intensely. Beauty moves him. Nature overwhelms him. Love, to Werther, is never simple affection. It is total surrender. Then he meets Charlotte. And in a single moment, his life changes. She is warm, kind, luminous. The kind of person who makes the ordinary world feel suddenly meaningful. Werther falls completely, hopelessly in love. But there is one unbearable truth. Charlotte is already promised to another man, Albert. This is the tragedy of the sorrows of young Werther. Most people would walk away. Werther cannot. He remains close to Charlotte,
convincing himself that friendship will be enough. But every smile becomes pain. Every conversation deepens his wound. The closer he stays, the more impossible leaving becomes. And slowly, love transforms into suffering. The world that once inspired him begins to darken. Beauty becomes melancholy. Joy becomes longing. His emotions, once his greatest gift, become his prison. Can a heart survive loving what it cannot have? Can sensitivity become self-destruction? And when love gives your life meaning, what happens when it cannot love you back? The Sorrows of Young Werther is not just a romance. It is emotional devastation. A cinematic portrait of letters written at midnight, empty countryside roads, fading summer light, and one young man slowly disappearing into his own feelings. Werther does not lose because he loved. He loses because he cannot stop. And when he reaches the edge of despair, one final question remains. Was Werther destroyed by unreturned love, or by the intensity with which he loved at all?